Recently, peaceful protesters in Rhode Island were met with violence when a prison guard who was operating at a detention facility housing migrants, decided he was just gonna try to run them over. Now, we showed you that video, and it was difficult to watch, but I wanna remind you of the severity of that situation in this next clip. And then I'm gonna tell you about how Lou Dobbs is encouraging this type of behavior. Take a look. So I just want to really emphasize that these protesters were sitting. They were sitting, they weren't causing any problems. They were protesting, practicing their First Amendment rights, and this prison guard tried to run them over. Luckily, no one got killed, but 6 protesters were hurt and they had to be treated in the hospiel.
And I want to be clear, there's kids in there, there's a person in a wheelchair, and in that truck, I don't know if you can see kids or a wheelchair, and one of the people that he ran over broke their leg. So it's a like very serious situation. And then people say, well, what was he supposed to do? I don't know, actually wait for a second and then see if they could be handled peacefully rather than running a bunch of citizens over. And then the police came out, and instead of helping the people that were hurt, they pepper sprayed them so that the truck could go in. And at a bare minimum, even if you think that's a great solution, don't run them over. Don't worry, the cops are gonna pepper spray them. So like, there's 1,000 things he could have done before he decided to ram them with his truck, which in the law is considered a deadly weapon.
Now, Thomas Woodworth is the name of the guard who attempted to run these protesters over. He has not been arrested. So far, he is not facing any charges, although the district attorney claims that they're investigating the matter. He should be in custody right now for attempted murder, and the very least, assault with a deadly weapon. That is what anyone else would have to deal with if they attempted to run a group of people over, especially if they're just sitting there and not causing any problems. Now, let me just show you an example of someone who encourages that type of behavior. Here's Lou Dobbs on Fox Business. Take a look.
These demonstrators blocking the entrance to a facility holding illegal immigrants. When the driver tried to pull in to the parking lot, the protesters surrounded him, yelling, banging on the hood of the truck, blocking his entrance into the facility. In jurisdictions all around the country, by the way, what they committed is assault. Trying to stop and block a vehicle is considered assault. In some instances, banging on an occupied vehicle is considered assault, which obviously the demonstrators may have committed in Rhode Island last night.
So the victims of attempted murder are the ones who committed assault, according to Lou Dobbs. And he claims that they were banging on the truck. Yeah, guess what happened? They were sitting when that truck tried to run them over, and then they got up and started banging on the hood of the truck, right? So let me get this straight. So George Zimmerman can shoot and kill a black minor who's unarmed, and that's considered self-defense. That's self-defense. Joaquin Castro is inciting violence simply by posting, businesses in Texas and how many of them are contributing money to Donald Trump. The right wing cried and moaned about that and said that's inciting violence. But when it comes to someone trying to run over protesters as they're sitting down, no, that's not violent. No. That truck driver was well within his right. It was actually those protesters just sitting there who committed assault. No, the right wing, they've already murdered people, right? And we are allowing them to control the narrative of who's actually violent in America. It is the right wing. They've already murdered people. They're gonna continue murdering people. We need to wake up and do something. This is crazy.
Okay, this is like the textbook definition of Orwellian. The guy who runs over the people sitting on the ground is not attacking them. The people who are sitting on the ground are the ones attacking the guy with the giant truck. So he pulled up to them aggressively. That's why people were like, whoa. If he had pulled up a little earlier, do you think they come and bang on his truck? I don't know. If they did, then we could have a different conversation about it. But you see what, whoa, what are you? And he's continuing and continuing. That's why they go, wait, hey, hold on, right? And then he continues and he runs them over and breaks their legs and puts them in the hospital. Lou Dobbs sees that same exact video and says, oh, that poor truck, right? And then he had Homan on, a former ICE acting director. Very logical that they would have Tom Homan on. So let's show you that video, and then I want to show you how Orwellian he's being. Watch.
I know that it must just gladden your heart to see a bunch of demonstrators at a immigration customs enforcement facility blocking the path of a guard and then complaining about the fact that he sought to do what is within his rights, which is to proceed to park his vehicle and go to work.
ICE employees, especially our contractors that run our facilities for us, they're on edge, Lou. And I don't want to happen in this incident, but our employees are on edge. We had someone shoot at an ICE office yesterday in San Antonio, barely missing by inches an employee, murdering one of our employees. But ICE employees are on edge. They're under attack.
So wait, let me get this right. The people run over by the car are not under attack. The person running them over with the car is under attack. Exactly Orwellian language.
Yeah, and we're supposed to have sympathy for the guy in the truck who they're all on edge. But the thing that Lou Dobbs does is he starts by demonizing the migrants and then criminalizes protest. And that should frighten all of us, that a group called Never Again Action, a Jewish activist group that is trying to remind us that this has happened before and we are on the path, if not already, producing camps with Nazi-like conditions. And State Representative Aaron Regenberg from Rhode Island, I think, said it so beautifully. He said, now I feel like I sound like Trump when I say so beautifully. If they'll use this kind of violence on us, think about what the defenseless detainees inside are being subjected to every day.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I think I've said this on the program before. Malcolm X also summed it up really well, that the power of the press is to turn the victim into the criminal and the criminal into the victim. And you can see that Lou Dobbs does this in an Orwellian and a textbook way that had been working for decades, and the right wing is seizing on this kind of tactic.
And while the New York Times is having this staff meeting and discussing how they don't want to be perceived as advocates for the left and how they're not part of the, and I'm quoting, I am quoting a staffer who literally said, we are not part of the effing resistance. Oh, well, congratulations, right? So I'm not calling for political activism by New York Times reporters, but I am asking them to do their jobs and to stop drawing these false equivalencies between the right and the left. Because while the actions of Antifa should be condemned, and we've talked about that on this show, it is not the same thing as what the right wing is doing. The right wing is showing up at synagogues and mosques and shooting people up. The right wing is running people over, and one person's already been killed by that method, should I remind you about that. And I mean, we're having a discussion about, oh, we don't want to be advocates for the left. How about being an advocate for the truth? Because while you sit there and play your stupid little games to try to appear like you're objective, people are literally getting murdered because you're not doing your job. And then you have the right wing, you have people like Lou Dobbs who spread this propaganda, and it's all over social media, People making the argument that, well, if you're standing in the middle of the street, you're gonna get run over. Oh, you think that's okay, right? Yeah. So Andy, no. If you're gonna go to a protest where Antifa is, you're gonna get a beat down, so don't show up. You can make the same stupid argument in every case. But again, the right wing, they're real good at controlling the narrative. And I'm sick of the left sitting by and letting this happen. We gotta fight back.
Yeah, and in New York Times, you're not objective if you're doing politically correct journalism, where you are not factually correct. You just say, well, I got to even the score between Republicans and Democrats. That's the opposite of the truth. On to this, oh, well, if they're in the middle of the road. Remember all those Tea Party protests against Obama? Imagine if Obama's government officials went and ran them over with a truck. Do you think that the right wing would be like, well, no, hey man, they were in the road. What can you do? Of course you should run over those good Tea Party folks.
And they're on edge. I mean,
now the Obama people were on edge. I mean, because there's all these Tea Party people around. So by the way, when Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren's president, okay, we'll keep that one in mind about if you're a protester, I guess the right wing said it's okay to run you over. All right, last thing is, I want to go back to Maytha's point about never again action. So what happened to the Judeo-Christian heritage? Because the right wing loves to throw that out when they're like, yeah, Israel, keep occupying the Palestinians and destroy their mosques because that'll lead to end times and Armageddon, and it'll be great and everybody will die. But when it comes to actually defending Jews, they're like, I don't want any part of it, right? Oh, you ran over a bunch of people who are Jewish protesters who want to make sure Holocaust don't happen again. Yeah, just run them over. You're well within your rights, right? Oh, the Jews will not replace us, they chanted in Charlottesville. And Trump said, well, they're good people on that side. Okay, all of a sudden, Judeo-Christian heritage gone. People massacred at a synagogue. All of a sudden, nobody cares about Judeo-Christian heritage. Another right winger, right? It's a joke. They never cared about Jews. Never, ever, ever. The whole point for these insane, lunatic, right-wing evangelicals is, hey, make sure that you destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque and you have Israel reborn and take more and more land because that's what the Bible says, and then Jesus comes back and we kill 7 billion people. That's their stupid ass ideology, and it has nothing to do with Judeo-Christian heritage. Here they are celebrating people trying to prevent Holocaust from ever happening again, being run over in the middle of the road. They never meant it. They never meant a word of it. Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.